In key skill 2, I'm going to teach you how to write a negative number which is underneath the square root as a multiple of I. Some existing skills you'll need to know are some basic knowledge of how to deal with square roots or surds, and I have a whole playlist on that. If you need a refresher course, come back and watch this video after that. What you want to do is you want to take your square root and you want to rewrite it as the number times by -1. Don't forget that I is equal to the square root of -1. So then you're going to split your square root using this rule for surds. Into the square root of 25 times by the square root of -1. The square root of 25 is 5. And we're going to rewrite the square root of -1 as I. So this is going to be 5i. So this has been written as a multiple of I. Let's practice that again with the square root of -36. So the square root of -36, we're going to rewrite that as the square root of 36 times the square root of -1. The square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of -1 is I. So we can rewrite that as 6i. So far we've only been dealing with square numbers, so the square roots have worked out really nicely for us. However, in the next example we have the square root of -8. So we're going to do a little recap into surds. And if we have the square root of a number which is not a square number, what we look for is the factors of that square number. So with the square root of 8, I'm going to try and find a square number that is a factor. In this case, 4 is a square number, and it's also a factor of 8. So the square root of 4 times by the square root of 2 is equal to the square root of 8. And the square root of 4 is 2 times by square root 2. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take the square root of -8 and we're going to rewrite it just like the previous two examples as the square root of 8 times by the square root of -1. And we're going to rewrite 8 as 2 square root 2 times by the square root of -1, which is I. We can write 2 square root 2 I. Powers of I have a really interesting property. So if you think that I is equal to the square root of -1, if I square both sides, then I squared should be equal to -1. So what you want to do when you have a power of I is to break it down into I squareds. So in this case, I've got I cubed, which I'm going to rewrite as I squared times by I squared, I'm going to rewrite as -1. -1 times by I is equal to -I. In fact, every power of I can be written as either 1, -1, I, or -I. Even I power 1,000 or 10,000. So let's have a look at our last example in this key skill here. I to the power of 4. I to the power of 4 can be written as I squared times I squared, which is equal to -1 times by -1, which can be written as 1. See if you can find a pattern between all the powers of I. There is a bit of a cyclic pattern going on, and see if you can work out what it is. In key skill 3, we're going to be looking at two commands that you need to know, which is called the real command and the imaginary command. So I'll see you in the next key skill.